Prop the mic here. How's it going? We're back.
We're back.
Coming to you from finally. It's the first time I've seen sunny blue skies in LA in 2 weeks. So I'm happy, feeling good.
Were you questioning why you moved to California?
I was starting to, just a little bit. Yeah.
Right.
But today it's all worth it again. So
good. I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah, we had a monster night last night. Biggest, longest odds ever hit on something we touted on the show.
Yeah.
So I'm wearing the Mets hat.
Right. Because you also don't have a Cavs hat.
I don't have a Cavs hat. And he's probably, arguably, next to Seinfeld, maybe the most famous Mets fan, one of them.
Well, I thought that was us, but we're not quite there yet, right?
Good one. Yeah.
Yeah, so Donovan Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
We gave out the play on the show yesterday, 40 points, 5 threes.
Awesome.
Did the analysis, right? He had hit 5 threes in all but one of the 4 games that he had crossed 40, and he just came out firing. I think he started the game with a 3 and didn't stop shooting. So, what did he end up with? 47?
46 or 47?
46 or 47 and 7 threes?
7 threes.
But they lost, right?
Yeah.
So bittersweet homecoming for our Mets buddy.
Yeah, and we were on Jordan Clarkson in that game too. The little 25 and 20 Jordan Clarkson, Donovan Mitchell I put out there that cashed as well. So
I got to tell you the Mason Plumlee analysis was really heartbreaking. We liked the points and rebounds and the rebounds.
Yeah,
and on the show we even said points and rebounds, and then for some reason when we were picking our best picks we went with the rebounds, which is the only one of the 3 that didn't hit. So
I know.
He did have a monster game, but not that many rebounds because nobody was missing in that game. It was just tons of scoring.
And there's maybe some fishy business going on with Jared Allen, possibly some Twitter, some stuff going on in the Twitterverse there.
Yeah, I mean, how do you like 7 minutes into a game figure out that now you're ill? Right? Like, there was no conversation of that. So that was a little weird, but anyway.
Is that what it was? He supposedly came out for an illness?
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Maybe he's in JB Picker staff's doghouse. I don't know.
Could be. Anyway, so we got 8 games tonight, right? I think we're going to cover 5 of them. So we're finally back to like a full slate. I think the whole college football on Monday threw off the traditional run, but I think they're getting back to normal. So let's start with 7 p.m. Eastern time. We got Minnesota T-Wolves at Detroit. Minnesota's 20-21. Towns is still out. Detroit is 11-33. They got completely shellacked by 76ers last night. That was an embarrassment.
Sniffed out that Joel Embiid monster game.
Yeah. It didn't look like he was going to play.
Yeah, you know.
And then he did play, and he like just was unstoppable. I mean, there was nobody to guard him.
Exactly.
So the Sixers are. The Pistons are getting 6.5 in this game, which seems a little light. And the total is 230. So Sharps didn't really have a take on the game. I think Anthony Edwards is questionable for the game. So I think
he's questionable. And Detroit hasn't, last I looked, which was pretty recently, they haven't even put out their injury report yet. So
everybody on Detroit is questionable.
Yeah. We're unsure. Bogdanovich missed the last game. And it's a good matchup. So we do kind of want to know if he's playing or not tonight. But I'm gonna give out a play, assuming he's not playing.
Okay.
Since he didn't play. So matchup wise, there's 2 that pop forwards against Minnesota is something we can target, and then bigs obviously against the Pistons, as we saw in Joel Embiid last night, is another great play. So the forwards for Detroit, if Bogdanovich doesn't play, is Sadiq Bey and Kevin Knox. I think Kevin Knox got the start last night, but maybe it was first start of the season. But no lines out on him. I did look at Sadiq Bey. His line's 14.5 points, and it's minus 110. There's not a lot of good, recent stuff to back this up, but what I did like is in 7 games on a back-to-back at home since last season, he's averaging just under 20 points in those games. And I think it was seven or so games. And his line's 14.5. So I just thought that was nice. He seems to be a guy who does well on short rest, given the good matchup. But Bogdanovich plays. Obviously, this is a scratch. So proceed with caution and check the injury reports.
I personally would just steer clear of Detroit until their lineup stabilizes. They got these injuries. And then there's a lot of trade speculation with Detroit as well. Bogdanovich might be going somewhere. Burks might be going somewhere. So for the next couple weeks, that they may be
nice for Detroit to be able to flip Bogdanovich like that, right? You sign him as a free agent. No one not a big move, and then he gets this hot start to the season, and now you have this young team. You don't really need him, and you get some more assets for him.
I mean, it depends what you're trying to do the rest of the season. You dump him for the rest of the season, and it's going to be an ugly next 40.
Is Cade coming back,
games.
or he's done for the season?
No, he's out for the season.
He is.
So, yeah, if they had him, I think they would definitely
he's a monster.
Dump Bogdanovich. But they have a lot of talent, but Killian Hayes, I was high on yesterday. And you just watched him he was like a deer in headlights. He just missed wide open layups. He was all over the place.
Yeah.
So very inconsistent team right now. I would say Jaden Ivey is probably the player that is the most consistent.
Yeah, and maybe the biggest, the highest probability of being the superstar to come out of this group of youngsters.
I think so. He's really good.
Yeah.
All right. And then what about on the Minnesota side?
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, who do you like on Minnesota?
So I can't avoid the big matchup, especially what we saw Embiid do last night. There's not a lot of good evidence here to support this. It's more of a gut play and a matchup play. So Rudy Gobert, 16.5 points. I don't love playing Rudy. It is plus 100. But if you look at his last 3 games, he had 18, 25, and 17. So very recent. If you looked at the 7 games before that, I don't think he hit in a single game. So this is just kind of a recency and matchup play here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really am not a huge fan of him. He's super inconsistent. He used to be really consistent on rebounds, and even there, he's up and down, up and down. So
I think there's a lot of stuff going on in Minnesota. I think a lot of guys don't like playing with him and Edwards, and so they're not a team to target.
Yeah, we might understand now what the issue was in Utah. So what about Edwards? His line was 25.5 points. He's done that in 7 of the last 10 games. In his last 2 games, though, he's been down 5 points and 21 points. But on New Year's Eve, he did put up 30 against Detroit. So assuming he plays?
Yeah, that's why I didn't dig too much, just because he is questionable, and I was kind of feeling like maybe he wouldn't play this game, given the road game against a not so good team in Detroit. So
right,
I do like it though, especially given what he did a week ago. But
yeah, I think for me that's the strongest play in this game if he plays. He's just got the most upside, and we talked about him early in the season, how he was kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. If you look, other than the last 2 games where, I don't know, maybe he was leading into an injury or something, the 5 games before that, or it might even been 6 or 7, he was consistently 28 points, 27. So he's very consistent of late, other than maybe a nagging injury. So hopefully, if he's healthy, I think he'll clear that line.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good play.
Okay. All right, let's move on to a game that has more. We have more confidence on the players. We got Milwaukee and Atlanta at 7:30. This is the fourth meeting of these teams this year. Milwaukee's 26-14, so they've been floundering a bit, but record's still pretty good. Atlanta's disappointing, 19-21. Yeah. Middleton's still out. Capella's still out. Atlanta's getting 2.5 points at home, and the total is 236.5. And the Sharps they liked Atlanta and over. So going to be a lot of scoring in this game.
Nice. All right, matchup-wise, as we keep saying, Milwaukee great defensively. Even through some of these struggles here, there's still nothing really popping for them in terms of matchups. Against Atlanta, that's the other end of the spectrum. Bigs versus the Hawks are just crushing. They're number one. I don't think they're number one on the full season, but they're a solid number one over the last month. And then also combo guards we can target. So who's that for Milwaukee? That's Giannis and Lopez as the big men, and your combo guard is Drew Holiday. I know I just went through all that and said there's no good targets against Milwaukee, but I did a little digging into Atlanta here, and they're on 2 days rest today, and both Trey and Murray have some pretty compelling stats on 2 days rest, so it was kind of hard to ignore, and given the high total in this game and the Sharps being the over, there's obviously going to be some points scored. So
home, I think they're also pretty good at home. I'm going to pull up their record, but I think they're a better home team, so I think that's also another factor to consider. They're 11-8 at home, so they have a winning record at home.
Mm-hmm. I like this. So let's start with Trey. His last 7 games on 2 days rest, he's averaging 31 points. 30, 29, 37, 19, 33, 34, 35. His line tonight's only 26.5, and it's minus 110. So I like that. He seems to the extra rest for him just does something. And I think he put up a 40-pointer against them earlier this year, right? Yep. And then DeJounte Murray also has some pretty nice stats on 2 days rest. So his rebound line is 5.5. It's minus 115. He's done it in 16 of his last 18 games on 2 days rest. And that goes back to last season. If you want to look at just this season, the games he's played on 2 days rest, he's had 10 rebounds, 6, 7, 10, and 8. Cleared it in every single game he played on 2 days rest.
It's good.
That's good. And if you want to juice it up even more, you could take him with 1.5 steals. It's plus 115. He's done it in 13 of 18 on 2 days rest. And in the 5 games he's played on 2 days rest this season, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. So I might even like putting those two together, maybe. But yeah, I like both those plays. 6 rebounds, 2 steals.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come up with a plus 2,000 play today to one up yesterday.
Did you have anything on Atlanta?
Cautiously saw Collins over 13.5 points, 5 of 7 of his last 7, and looking at his historical matchups against Milwaukee, went 4 in the first game, but then 14 and 16. So he has cleared this in 2 of 3, but that's a pretty weak play on my side, just because I don't love playing too many guys against.
He will. Atlanta. He will have Giannis on him probably.
Right. But again, most of these guys on Atlanta, other than probably Murray, don't make their own shots. Right? They all score based on Trey getting past his guy, and then the big men stepping up and just a lob pass for a dunk. So I think that's where Collins is going to score, but I also agree. I think Trey's due for a big game, so I would lean on that side.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. And then on the Milwaukee side, it's a great matchup for Giannis. I just his lines are so high that just can't get there. But I like the combo guard matchup with Drew Holiday. I couldn't find something just on one individual stat line alone, so we went back to my old favorite here. We do a parlay. You put Drew at 15 points, which he's done in 10 of 13 on the road, 14 of 17 on 1 day rest, and 7 of 8 on 1 day rest on the road. It's pretty good there. 4 rebounds, which he's also done in 14 of 17 on 1 day rest, and 11 of 13 on the road. And 6 assists, which he's also done in 14 of 17 on 1 day rest, and 10 of 13 on the road, and that's plus 128.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that. I like that for him tonight.
Yeah, I think he's also due for a good game. Going back to Giannis, I was almost considering fading him. His last 3 games, he's put up 39 and 22.
I know.
And his line is 32.5. In his 3 games against Atlanta, he put up 34, so he cleared in the first one, but then 25 and 27. So he's
something's off with him. Something's going on.
He's playing injured or something.
Yeah. I mean, I watched him a bunch in that game against the Knicks, and I don't know, just didn't look like himself.
Yeah. So I think he could. I'd say there's a higher probability he would go under, but I know if we play that, he's going to put up 45 points.
We poo-poo unders here.
We're not a huge fan of unders, especially on studs like Giannis.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Anything on Lopez,
No.
or are you good?
No, I'm good. That's all I got.
Okay. All right. 8 p.m. We got the Spurs at the Grizzlies. Spurs are 13 and 28, playing without Vassell. Grizzlies are 27 and 13, so one of the hotter teams in the league. They're playing without Clark. Grizzlies are minus 13.5 in the game, so huge point spread there. And then 238.5. Sharps are on the over. I have to just comment: the Grizzlies are like the team that nobody really talks about.
It could be the best team in the NBA.
They could be the best team in the NBA, right? I mean, they have the same record as the Nuggets, and I feel like the Nuggets are constantly talked about. Mm-hmm. And the Grizzlies, obviously they get the attention from Ja, but, they have a better record than Milwaukee.
And more depth. I mean, so much more depth than the Nuggets, right? I mean, the Nuggets without Jokic, they're shot, right? I mean, Ja can miss, and the Grizzlies, almost don't miss a beat,
Yeah, I mean, look, we're about to get to this game next, but look what happened at Phoenix, right? They were one of the best teams in the league. Now they're 21 and 21.
Yeah.
500. Once
Booker
went out, it's like that team fell apart. So I agree with you. I think that's really important for a long playoff run, especially if you get an injury in the playoffs or something leading up to it. So I think they're underrated. I think the Pelicans fall into that same camp too. They're playing without their stars and still winning. So
I honestly think Tyus Jones is the best backup point guard in the league.
He's probably better than most starting point guards.
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay. Enough touting the Grizzlies.
Yes.
Let's talk about some plays.
I'm going to continue touting because you don't play anybody against the Grizzlies. There's no matchup. They're all subpar, so avoid it. But you can certainly play guys against the Spurs, combo guards and point guards. Your backcourt guys. So all that talk about Ja. Let's look at his last 5 games against the Spurs. 32 points, 52 points, 41 points, 30 points. His line tonight's 27.5. It is very juicy at minus 145. But he's done that his last 6 of 9. And his last 3 games at home, 35, 32, 34. I also would like to note that he missed the last game, so he's playing on 5 days rest today. He played one other game on 5 days rest this season. It was on December 15th against Milwaukee. He had a triple-double in that game, 25, 10, and 10. So I think this is a solid spot for Ja here, but we're just going to go straight points, 27.5 over.
I like that. How do you feel about 28.5?
I like that. I like that too, especially I don't want to pay all that minus 145. So yeah, I would take it. I would, to make it a little bit better odds. I would 28.5 is fine.
If I recall, I don't have his numbers in front of me, but if I recall, once he gets above 27, he
gets into
pretty
the
much
30s.
scores 30.
Yeah.
So that might also be a consideration. You could probably get close to plus 200 at 30. So
at 30, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That might be a nice play, good value there. Yeah.
I like Ja. I mean, I think the only risk there is,
blowout.
Just a monster blowout. It's a 14-point spread, so it's huge.
Especially with Vassell out, they don't have a lot of playmakers there. So.
Yeah, I think they have Keldon Johnson back.
Yeah,
and Pirtle. So we'll see.
Yeah, not playing those Pirtle assists today.
No, only at home.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, that's it. Moving along.
All right. Next, we got the Suns, who we just talked about. 10 p.m. game going up against the Nuggets. Suns are 21-21. Did they win last night? I didn't even see the end of that game against Golden State.
Who did they?
They were up.
Oh, no, they won.
They won, yeah. And Nuggets are 27-13. So Nuggets are minus 13 in this game, even though Chris Paul might come back and they might have a few other players back, but Booker's still out. Cam Johnson's still out. So sharps are on the Nuggets minus 13 and under 227. Who's popping for you here?
I'd worry about a blowout in this game too.
Yeah, especially at home.
Yes,
for Denver.
Yeah, but who's popping? Take the Phoenix side lightly because their lineup is not, it's very much in flux. So forwards and combo guards are places we can target them, especially that's really over the last month. Over the full season, they were a team that you'd look to avoid. So you can look there, but I'm just kind of, I don't know. And then against Denver, point guards and wings are who we can target. So where did I end up here? Going back to Aaron Gordon, 6.5 rebounds. Unfortunately, it's minus 150, but he's done his last 4 of 5 and 7 of 10. So I like that line for him tonight. Forward matchup versus Phoenix is primo. And then your combo guards against Phoenix is also a great matchup, and that's Jamal Murray. Looked at his rebound line also. It's also 3.5 and minus 155, so not so nice. But I also like his point line at 18.5, minus 125. His last 6 games on one-day rest, 25, 26, a game with 6. I didn't dig deep what happened in that game, but then 23, 30, and 21. That's an average of 22 points in his last 6 games on one-day rest. So I might even look to just do a Murray point rebound. I didn't even look at his PR. His PR may be, I'm going to pull that up right now. Hold on. That might be the way to go with Murray. I guess my brain wasn't working fully this morning. It's
all right. Sometimes it takes time for these things to come to you,
I like that. So his line is 23.5 PR. It's minus 105, which is nice. His last 6 games, 30, 31. Then you had that game against Charlotte where he only had 7. And then 28, 34, and 26. I might switch it up right here and just do that because it's the minus 105.
I see 22.5 at minus 115.
Oh.
Even better.
Even better, yeah. All right, that's the play.
All right.
22.5 PR, minus 115.
I thought a couple weeks back you just swore off these combo plays. Now I see them re-entering your playbook.
They're starting to make a reappearance.
Worked out well last night with Fultz, right?
It did.
All right, good. I like that play. He's on fire of late. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else in this game?
Nope, that's it.
All right. And then last game we got 10 p.m. Houston at Sacramento. Houston's 10-30. Sacramento's 21-18. Kings are minus 9.5 in the game. Sharps are on the Kings minus the 9.5, and the total is 238. So another high scoring game.
Yeah. Matchup wise, surprisingly against Houston, they're not giving up big games to any position. So I don't know what that is, but I think maybe they're just getting blown out, and then teams are they're not having guys rack up.
Right. The average playing time for the starters is 22
exactly.
minutes. So they can't put up big points. But that's one way to play defense against the starting. I'm going to lose by 30, so you can't outscore me.
There you go.
Outscore your prop line.
Some bogus defensive stats there. But and then the Kings forwards and point guards are who we can look at there. So who does that mean for Houston? That would be point guard is Kevin Porter. You could look at Eric Gordon if you wanted to. And even Jalen Green, he plays some points. You could look at him, but I'm actually on Porter today. And then forwards, the lines aren't out yet. I think Jayshawn Tate came back recently. I think he had some decent minutes in the last game. He's a forward for Houston, so there might be something I'd look into later, but his lines weren't out yet. So this is also a little bit more of a gut play. Kevin Porter Jr. He had a triple-double against Sacramento on March 30th of last year.
Okay.
But just note that De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis did not play in that game. So do with that.
That might be a
will.
reach. That might be a reach.
Yeah. But
I don't even know if that's
triple-double. You got to point
available.
it out.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling he's gonna have a good scoring game today. So his line's 20.5 points. He's done it in his last 7 of 10 games. And then just one little recent one that matches up to his split today. It's last time he played on 2 days rest on the road this season, he had 36 points. That's what he's doing tonight. So not a bunch of games like that, only one, but it is what it is. I have a feeling it's just more of a gut play and matchup. So Kevin Porter.
All right. Anybody on the Kings side?
No, I stayed away.
Yeah, I'm gonna run back a play from the other day. I like Harrison Barnes over 1.5 threes. Guy's just been on fire. Last 5 games, he's had 4, 3, 2, 2, 6. So
he was 6 for 7 from 3 in that last game. And that was why De'Aaron Fox didn't hit our points,
exactly.
Because Barnes got so hot from 3. But anyway,
not just from 3, he was he was scoring from everywhere. And Houston is one of the worst teams at defending the 3. So I think this is yet another game where he'll come out firing. I think guys generally are feeling pretty good after a 6 3-pointer night. So I think he'll come out early and hit some threes. So
going back to the well.
Back to the well. Sometimes you just have to play what works and not reinvent the wheel, right?
Yeah. And that line will start creeping up, and then you back off, and he gets a little cold, and then you ride someone else.
And then sometimes you also need to tap into visions that you have. So my last play for today is not one of these games. I gotta do a play on Buddy Hield. So 2 nights ago, I in the middle of the night, I just had a vision that Buddy Hield put up a 25-point game. Okay. So I was hoping yesterday that he was playing, but he wasn't playing. So this is the next game since my vision.
Okay.
I'm not sure why I'm dreaming of Buddy Hield that night, but
you're gonna have to talk to someone about that.
Yeah. No, I will certainly address that. But before I do that, I'm going to take advantage of my vision. So. And then I looked. Buddy Hield's been hot.
He has.
His point line is 17.5. He's done that in 6 of his last 7 games. It's also plus 100. He's going up against the Knicks tonight, and in the one game against the Knicks on December 18th, he put up 23 points. So I have two versions of this. You can do plus 100 at 17.5, or you can do closer to plus 200. At 22 points. So
22 points.
But my vision was that he was going to score 25.
25. So what's his line to score 25?
All right, you just want that play, right? Why would you not take advantage?
I love that we're betting vision plays now. This is dreams. We're betting plays of our dreams.
All right, Buddy Hield, 25 points is plus 480.
Nice. Put in the books. No, I like this game tonight. There's a lot of. I was listening to NBA radio on Sirius this morning, getting ready for the pod, and a lot of chatter about this game because the last time they played on December 18th, Wally Zerbiak in the post game, the Knicks post game show, kind of called out Tyrese Halliburton for some weird reason, saying he's not an all-star and blah blah blah. So it's great bulletin board material. All the reporters at yesterday's shoot around were asking him about it. TJ McConnell got a little bit heated about it. I think the Pacers are a great bet tonight to win this game. that's one. And then I also like them. I think the team's fired up to come back. They've won 8 of 10 since that loss to the Knicks on December 18th. So they're hot, and there's something in that game happened. Yeah,
interesting.
Yes.
Did you also see the clip of Halliburton's dad?
No.
He I forgot what game it was, probably a week or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
He came into the tunnel before the game, and he approached Buddy Hield, and he was basically like, "Listen, man," he's pretending like he was the coach. He was like, "You got to stop dribbling and just shoot. You just shoot." And then Buddy Hield's like, all right,
Okay, Pop.
yeah. And then he just kept saying it, really? You better listen to me, man.
I have a feel he's probably a coach, because a guy like Halliburton just doesn't pop out of nowhere. He seems like the kind of guy who's like a coach's son. But
he's not wrong. That's what Buddy Hield brings to the table. So so I think that combined with your Wally Zerbiak story, combined with a vision from 2 nights ago, this is good as gold.
We should have led with this game. What were we doing?
No, it's good to close strong.
Yeah, that's
too,
true.
So.
That's true.
All right. Well, go, Buddy.
All right.
And hopefully our other picks play out as well.
All right. Nice work, Dave.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.